All right. Take it away, Michelle.
Great. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate it, and we are really excited to celebrate our award winners this evening. So with that, I think we're going to start first with the Second South Market project, which you can see. So this is based in Twin Falls at the Second South Market. This project is a story of vision, history, downtown revitalization, and placemaking. Next. The site began at the Krengle Machine Company in 1907 with a machinist, boilermakers, blacksmith, and a steam tractor repair yard. Next. The original building was replaced in 1926 with the current concrete building, becoming Krengle's Hardware in 1972 and then the Salvation Army in 1992. Next. Time could not break down the efficient 1926 design of concrete walls and floors with high vaulted wood ceilings. These old but solid building patterns left a firm foundation for the space's next use, a food hall and indoor-outdoor gathering space. Next. Stunning wood ceilings are brought back to life. Glass windows along the top of the ceiling roof lines were discovered, uncovered, and repaired. Next, today these windows flood the interior with ambient light. Original paneling gathered during demolition is used throughout the interior. Doors and windows were salvaged and can be seen throughout. Old whiskey bottles found in the hidden underground cellar from Prohibition are on display. Horseshoes and old tools found during demolition became the restroom sign. Next. Set in Twin Falls Historic Warehouse District, an area designed by the city for mixed uses. Sitting 1 block from the new Twin Falls City Hall, Twin Falls Downtown Commons, Second South Market is helping energize the city's plans to revitalize and reactivate their historic downtown and is conveniently located along a newly planned walking and biking corridor. Next. The design worked with original infrastructure to create a more sustainable, energy-efficient space by installing energy-efficient appliances and heating and cooling systems. Original door and window spaces are now filled with ground floor windows and glass rolling up doors, allowing in more light. So the interior only requires low voltage LED lighting fixtures. LED lights are used outside the building to minimize light pollution. Next. After 14 months of renovation, Second South Market opened January 1 this year to a resounding success, averaging 600 customers per week. Revenues are exceeding expectations and increasing for 7 local vendors located in spaces surrounding the open center space for customer dining and gathering. The yard, which is a 14,700 square foot outdoor space, seats up to 350 people with a stage, games, and fire pits, creating a comfortable outdoor room, which is also dog friendly. The outdoor space can be sectioned off for private events. Next. From the onset, Second South Market owners have 2 primary goals in mind: preserve the original 1926 open space and its amazing history, and create a distinctive, unique environment that would offer a strong sense of place in the community. Second South Market exhibits outstanding implementation of smart growth principles. So congratulations, Lisa Budaki, who is accepting the award tonight. And she is on your screen if you want to give a wave. So congratulations on this great accomplishment.
Thank you so much, Michelle. I'm sorry about my name, everybody. It's under, can you hear me? Are we okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so my name on the screen is Sarah because my computer was not functioning well with my microphone. So it's under my daughter's computer, but I am Lisa, and I want to thank the Idaho Smart Growth Group and board for recognizing this project. It's been A lot of fun. My husband and I are the owners, and so he's not here, but he wants to thank you guys also for the recognition. This has been a really fun project for us. We really actually didn't know it was a historical building until we had purchased it. We just knew that it was a great single-story venue. We knew that there were some interesting ceilings up above the old white ceilings, but we didn't really know what was up there until we started demolition. And then some of the contractors just mentioned to us, I think there's some history in this building. And so I went and did some research at the library. I ended up talking to some of the former owners' children. And so the history started to unfold. And so really at that point, we thought, you know what, that really became the impetus for how we designed this whole project. We decided we want to keep everything as natural as we can. We want to keep the history of the building. We want to complement that history and actually show it off. And that's why I developed that. You might have seen it earlier, that kind of a history wall as you walk into the building, because we just felt that there was so much history there. We could share history and show it off for people walking in. So it wasn't just a general, everyday building. It really had some history that we wanted to preserve and share with the community. As far as the smart growth principles are concerned, I know some of this is just it was just natural for us. We've had that flooding of the lights up above into the ceilings. And so that just made our lighting options, it really changed our entire lighting option for the interior. We didn't have to put in a lot of lighting. We could use low lighting, high-end LED lights that would last for a long time. We worked with each of our vendors on their lighting. So as far as that was concerned, it was really the design of those windows. And then we also wanted to increase that. So we were able to break down some of the concrete walls and create even more windows, as you see in that picture there, right on Second, that's Highway. But we added a lot more windows there just to increase, again, the windows, the lighting opportunities with inside. One of the things that Deanna and I talked about earlier today is, some of the contractors and developers have issues with financing. We also had that issue. Going to a bank last year, remember this was just pre-COVID. When we purchased the building, we knew we wanted to develop a food hall, but we weren't sure how to pull this together. And of course, you went to a bank and you said, okay, this is the first in the state. It's never been done. We want to put 7 vendors under a single roof and we'd like some financing. Well, that didn't go over real well. So as a result, we self-funded the project. We did get some support from Region 4 Development. Kind of midway through our project, when we ran into COVID, we knew that they were going to run into delays. So we knew we were going to have a delay in our revenues. So in order to offset that gap, we needed some additional funding, and we got support and understanding from Region 4 Development. We will secure a loan from them.
Thank you, Lisa. We are going to move on to the Silver Street. I just want to make sure that we have a chance to honor Dana before she has to step off for her meeting. And then we'll have an opportunity at the end to ask questions and to provide more information about the projects, if that works for you.
Great.
Thanks so much. And congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, Deanna, if you want to pull back up the PowerPoint. Okay, great. So next we're going to move to the Silver Street project. Silver Street was the first in Boise. Dwell Boise purchased a 0.3 acre flag lot nestled in an established neighborhood with the vision of replacing old single family homes that had been vacant for years and were in very poor conditions with 4 new homes more affordable than the current market. This vacant, next slide, thank you. This vacant lot was the perfect spot for transit-oriented development. One block street was built out primarily with duplexes and a couple of one-story bungalows. So small bungalows with with smaller yards was an appropriate land use in this neighborhood. Dana's goal was to provide affordable housing in a very desirable location. Next. The existing structures were demolished and a single parcel was divided into 4 separate parcels with a shared driveway in the back, allowing for uninterrupted sidewalks in front of the new homes. Next. In order to keep the homes at a low price point while including some design elements or a number of design elements, the developer chose to build modular housing with United Family Homes in Nampa. These homes are built with specifications and regulations that are the same as stick-built homes, but they're built off-site, and so they're built more quickly and construction costs are lower. Next. The compact, energy-efficient homes were designed with affordability in mind. These attractive low-maintenance homes vary from approximately 500 to 800 square feet. The 2-bedroom, 1-bath, or the 1-bedroom, 1-bath homes feature laminate wood flooring, great natural light, high ceilings, quartz countertops, and stainless steel appliances, including a refrigerator, washer, and dryer. Next. The infill project blends into existing neighborhoods, adding 3 more homes with 0 impact. Next. The existing neighborhood is a mix of small single-family attached houses, duplexes, and a small apartment complex. So the project fits right into the neighborhood. Next. The off-street parking, small fenced yards with detached sidewalks, and a large welcoming front porch. Boise North End community and stakeholder input and collaboration occurred throughout this project. The homes sold within a few days of being on the market. Next. In August of 2017, 4 lucky diverse locals made Silver Street their home, including one person who pays less in mortgage than she did in rent, and another who was able to downsize from a larger home in the neighborhood, enabling her to retire. Located in a very walkable neighborhood about a block from Collister Shopping Center, less than a block from State Street bus line, and a short distance to the Green Belt, this project is a perfect illustration of many values of infill housing. So Dana is also, has her camera turned on. So congratulations, Dana Zuckerman, who's accepting the award tonight.
Thank you, Michelle.
Did you want to add anything?
Yeah, I just want to tell a quick story about what this was and why I did it. I was actually interested in flipping homes because whenever it was 8 years ago, it seemed like the thing to do in Boise, and I really love renovations. And I was looking around, thinking about doing that, and I, at the same time, had been going to a lot of ULI meetings, which I know a lot of you on this call had also gone to, and still go to. And I just kept hearing about this coming affordable housing crisis, and you know, there's very little available for people who are firefighters and teachers and nurses. And I kept thinking about, oh, I don't want to be that person who takes houses that are currently affordable and makes them fancier and sells them at a higher price. It didn't sit well with me. And so then I decided to look around for something else, and like really just stumbled upon this 1/3 of an acre, like Michelle said, a block from State and a block from Collister, that had a house that no one had lived in for at least decades. It was this one single family home with some outbuildings that were filled with all sorts of just materials, and the windows were broken on the house. And when we demolished it, we realized it had been sitting on sections of cinder block, not even full cinder block. So there was, you know, no one had lived there for a very long time. And now 4 different people live there. One used to work for the city of, no, one person who lived there works for the city of Boise. She ended up selling her house later because she moved in with somebody and made a decent amount of money off it. And another person who works with my husband was very excited to see him at work and say, hey, I just bought a house that your wife built. And she is some kind of tech at St. Luke's, and said there was nothing else she could buy, which made me feel very good. My goal was to sell the houses for under $125,000, which in the end, my costs were much higher than I had anticipated because this is the first time I'd ever built anything. And the city made me build a really, really wide driveway in the back so that 2 cars could pass each other, which cost a lot more than I had anticipated. So I ended up selling them for, I think the least expensive one was $148,000 and the 2-bedroom was somewhere around $165,000, which was still below anything you could find that wasn't a tear down. But I actually made money off them. Again, my husband was like, please just don't lose money. And I told him that I would try, but I couldn't make any promises because I had no idea what I was doing. But the reason I did it was like, it was fun. And after going to a million ULI meetings and hearing people talk about the need for affordable housing, I was like, well, I'll try something. And then I figured I would repeat this project over and over in lots of different pockets of, empty buildings or empty lots. And it turned out that once I had finished, I kept shopping around for more land and couldn't find anything that I could afford to put something this small on, which was really disappointing. But we all know where the property values have gone in the last, I think it's 4 or 5 years since then. So I'm very happy that 4 people get to have these pretty nice little houses. And I'm really sorry that I'm not able to do more because the market doesn't allow for it. And I had sort of forgotten about this project and was really excited to hear that someone thought of it and decided to give me an award. So that was really exciting and I very much appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Dana, and congratulations. And you're welcome in McCall anytime you want to come up and do some more affordable houses. And Lisa, you're also welcome to come and do some awesome development up there. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Rob, who's going to introduce the next section of our program this evening.
Joe, before we do that, we do have about 5 minutes for some
Okay.
I'm curious if anybody on the call or on the Zoom has a question for either Lisa or Dana. I was curious about hearing from them. If they could share, some of the barriers that they were able to overcome in trying to do smart growth. We know that smart growth can be more challenging and there can be unique barriers. And we always appreciate that there are people who persevere and are willing to push through those. I probably want to start with Dana because she's going to have to leave us shortly. So if you want to talk about that a little bit, Dana, maybe you already shared some of that. And if anybody else has a question they'd like, you can put it in the chat and we'll ask it.
My biggest barrier to keeping these small houses affordable was sidewalks and driveways. And the sidewalks, I first resented the fact that I had to put them in because they didn't go anywhere. And then I remembered that if everybody has to put them in, that at some point there will be an entire network of sidewalks, even if that takes a really long time. And so that I wasn't, that I was happy to deal with. But the driveway, I could have put the houses on the market for $5,000 less each, which is a significant amount if you're buying a house, for $130,000, $140,000. But I just had to put in so much concrete because that was what the city required. And then later when somebody, I'm sorry, I don't remember who it was, from planning and zoning came out and looked at it, he looked around and said, oh, this is a lot of driveway. I was like, yeah, it is a lot of driveway. And it was sort of, again, I'm sorry, I can't remember who it was, but he was like looking around like, yeah, this is not a good idea. So hopefully that made him think about, next time. If that lesson was learned for someone else, then I'm glad it was learned. And I was very happy I didn't have to do any covered parking. I had a little spot for one car per house. And I was given a parking reduction because the units were so small. So I only had to have one space per house, which really saved me. I couldn't have had any backyard if I was required to have parking for 2 cars.
Thanks, Dana. Lisa, you shared a few things, but if you'd like to talk a little bit about some of your challenges and how you were able to overcome them.
I think one of our biggest challenges was that we did not have enough already established infrastructure in regards to electricity to support the number of businesses that we had inside. So we had to work very closely with Idaho Power, and I sympathize with Dana for these kind of unforeseen costs that come up. They had to build an entire new structure for electricity, a new pole, new power boxes and so forth. So thankfully we were able to work with the Urban Renewal Agency to provide some help with that. And so we, that was something that really helped us a great deal, because that was just one of those unpredicted things that we weren't planning on, building all this new electricity for the building. But other than that, the funding, like I said, was an issue, but we were able to get that help from Region 4. We had good experience in working with the city. And so I don't have, that outside of just the general obstacles that you might encounter going through a project, those were really our key obstacles that we were able to overcome. Of course, COVID was huge because we just started developing the project, and then COVID shut us down and we didn't know how we were going to do this. And we had just announced our project literally in the media, I think about a week before. So we thought, oh my gosh, now what are we going to do? We've got this Facebook thing, and we really just went dark, and we got our contractors who were fabulous, Creative Carpentry, some local contractors, to see the project through, and they were able to work in the building. It was wide open, 13,000 square feet. They could social distance, and they were just thankful to be working, because a lot of people weren't employed. So they were thankful to have the work. And so we had to continue on. We just had to keep pouring money into the building and hope that we were going to come out. Our vendors were counting on us too to finish. So that was a challenge. COVID was a huge challenge, but we just had to persevere.
All right. I'm not seeing. Oh, Nancy Cheney, do you want to ask your question of Dana? You can go ahead and take your mic off and the video, turn it on.
I'm not sure if Dana's still on the call.
I think
she
Dana
fell off.
I do too. I think she left just about the moment I hit send. I do have a question for Sarah, though. Lisa. May I pose that?
Go ahead.
Lisa, I'm wondering if you think the high ceilings and kind of openness of your space invites more members of the public to use it because during COVID. I think people might feel more comfortable in a space like that.
You're right, Nancy. We did have that, and that was one of the things that we used as promotion when we first opened, that we had a lot of open space. We really cut back on our seating. We were at 1/3 of our seating when we first opened, just purposely to have that additional open space. We did open in January, so nobody could go outside, of course. So we did keep a lot of people were asking for more chairs and things, and we just slowly started bringing in more chairs and more tables over time, but that did take a while. We wanted people to feel comfortable. Once the outside was open, then we really brought in everything that we had, all the extra chairs and tables to our maximum capacity, so that people then could go outside. And having that outdoor opportunity was really huge for us, Nancy, because people could sit out in 14,000 plus square feet of wide open space and separate picnic tables. And what's kind of cool about our indoor space is people can move tables around. So if you don't want to sit next to somebody, pick up your table and move it to somewhere else.
Okay, with that, we're going to move on. And Rob, I'm going to share my screen again, and you are up next.
Thank you, Deanna. I'm very happy to introduce to you tonight the winner of this year's Charles Hummel Award. I first met Mayor Nancolis, and he will never remember this because I was a lowly sophomore and he was the student body president at high school, at Caldwell High School. And so he, not only that, he was a jock and I was a nerd. So we just weren't going to cross very many paths at that point. But fortunately for me, I've spent half a lifetime with him on this journey of doing something better for Caldwell. I was on the Caldwell School Board when we were looking at doing a survey to look at what our students needed. What were some of the challenges for them? And one of the areas we looked at very deeply was assets in the community. And we were basically a desert and a wasteland for that kind of thing. And we had a new mayor who had come on board knowing that there needed to be a real family orientation with the things he was going to do for Caldwell. And when he came to Caldwell as the mayor, the first thing he did was got in a dusty old hot van with one of his, who has to become his financial director. And they surveyed the city and they looked at all the areas where we had issues and deficiencies. Clearly Caldwell had crime issues. Clearly Caldwell had a problem with retail leakage. We were losing our basic sector jobs. Just a lot of things were collapsing in the city at the time he took office. But he created a vision for us. And I think through the presentation he's about to give you, you will see that smart growth principles and building Caldwell in the right way for all of those issues and all of those assets was foremost in his mind. So I can't think of anyone who's embodied what we are trying to do with smart growth better than Garrett Nancolis. So I'll let you take it away, sir.
Well, Rob, thank you so very much. I am truly surprised, first of all, when Elaine Clegg reached out to me. She asked me if I would be willing to talk about downtown, having no idea that there was any kind of award involved, and I am so honored. Thank you very much, Rob, for your kind words. And as you know, it's all about partnerships. It's about working together, rolling up your sleeves, going to work and not caring who gets the credit in the long run. And great things can happen when that is the theme. So Rob, thank you very much for your kind words. It's an honor to know you and to work with you. And as you know, it's an honor to call you friend. We've been through a lot together, and Rob, your fingerprints are all over all of this. As the Urban Renewal Chairman and council member through all of this, over 20 years worth of service, you probably deserve this award even more than I do, Rob. So thank you very much for your kind words. I'd like to congratulate Lisa and the Second South Market project on what an amazing, I'm gonna have to come to Twin Falls and just to see that. Sounds like a wonderful vision and what a great accomplishment for downtown Twin Falls. Dana, I know you're not here, but congratulations on the Silver Street project. Again, that's vision, that's hard work, that's an accomplishment that will benefit those families that are in those homes for the rest of their lives. And that's truly what all this is about, is doing what's best for our community, the families, the businesses, creating a community that's family friendly, business friendly, walkable, using the smart growth principles to make sure that we preserve the history and the background, the beauty, and also make sure that as we move forward that we don't forget that it's all about families, and if it's good for them, then it's probably good for everyone. So again, this is a story of a success in downtown Caldwell. I grew up, as Rob did, in downtown Caldwell when we had a thriving, wonderful downtown. We had Sears, JCPenney's, the Idaho department store, Nafzigers. We had restaurants. We had car dealerships, Pennywise drugstore. We had all these wonderful businesses that were downtown Caldwell, and we were the happening place in Canyon County. People came to downtown Caldwell from all around us, including Nampa, to shop in downtown Caldwell because it was the center of activity when Rob and I were young. Matter of fact, I saw The Sword in the Stone at the Top Theater downtown. And, my mother would pick us up on Saturday or take us downtown on Saturdays and drop us off at the theater. And she would go do her shopping and take care of her needs downtown and then come pick us back up. And then we'd go to there was a soda fountain downtown, and we would get a 25-cent chocolate soda, and that was the highlight of our week. And downtown Caldwell was just a wonderful place for families, and it was thriving. And then, of course, as you know, things change. In the late 60s, early 70s, the invention or the bringing about of malls throughout different cities and throughout the nation. That was the big thing. And these malls moved to the outside areas of towns. And again, what happened? Businesses that were in downtowns moved to these urban malls. And they took away businesses from downtown. And I know that there was a lot of effort to try to preserve the downtown businesses. But when Karcher Mall came to Canyon County, it took the businesses with it. So pretty soon, JCPenney's was gone, Sears was gone, the other department store was gone, Knapsager's was gone. Well, those were the drivers of economic development and retail in downtown Caldwell. And they simply took those businesses, and then Caldwell went through a process like a lot of cities did of kind of going into a ghost town kind of environment where it was a state of disinvestment rather than investment. And Caldwell's downtown struggled for probably 3 decades. And it was a very, very difficult time for the city of Caldwell. And then, of course, right through the middle of Caldwell during all this time, there was this Indian Creek that was actually covered up. It was entombed. It ran through downtown, but it was, nobody would have known it. And actually, back in the 50s and early 60s, before the Clean Water Act, there was a lot of sewage, raw sewage in Indian Creek. There were some businesses that dumped into Indian Creek, and it was not a very pleasant place to be. However, bringing the community together right after we took office, we talked to the citizens, we talked to our businesses, those that had survived. We talked to our community, we had workshops, we brought people together and said, what is it that you would like to see us do? What are your priorities? And together we created a vision for a vibrant, pedestrian-friendly, walkable downtown that was focused around uncovering this beautiful amenity that wasn't so beautiful at first, but after the Clean Water Act, it certainly cleaned up. And we decided to put together a plan. Well, at the same time, obviously, we were struggling, as Rob said, in so many other areas. So we created what we call the funding mechanism for all of these things, the Caldwell East Urban Renewal Agency. And in fact, at first, it actually did not include downtown. But you all know that a vision without a plan is only a dream, but a vision without a funding mechanism is a hallucination. So we had to put together a funding mechanism because Caldwell did not have the means to do some of the projects we wanted. So we put together a 15-year plan that dealt with crime, that dealt with the downtown, that dealt with the civic mall. That, you're seeing this, we created these plans for thematic districts in a downtown core. We put together plans for an industrial park to the east of Caldwell. We put together walkability and pathway plans. We created plans for dealing with crime, because of course, if you don't solve that issue, who's going to want to come to downtown or bring their businesses to a city where crime is prevalent? So together as a community, with our business partners, with the chamber, with the state, with the county, with these different groups and partners, including Idaho Department of Water Resources, we brought together DEQ, EPA, our federal partners. We put together these plans and brought everybody together and decided this is how we were going to bring back that once vibrant downtown in Caldwell. So as we started forward with this project, we actually had applied for a Section 206 grant, which is a grant through the Army Corps of Engineers to daylight Indian Creek. And that grant was based upon returning it to its riparian state, buying these properties, uncovering this creek and bringing it back to its natural beauty. And so we did our part. We bought buildings, we just started demolishing buildings, we started designing the creek, we did our part of the grant. Well, we did our part, and then the Section 206 program was eliminated and discontinued, which truly left us in a lurch. So that's when we, again, with Rob and all the help of the council members and our staff, we rewrote our urban renewal plan and included downtown Caldwell. So then on we go. Next, there's kind of a before. You can see this was an old car wash that used to span the creek where it had been covered up, and there was buildings, asphalt, auto parts stores. This creek had flowed underneath our fire station, and it was a major undertaking to bring about this daylighting project. And again, it took literally an army of people, 7 years of dedication. We worked through FEMA issues, we worked through EPA issues, When we were digging the creek, we found bodies of cars. We found old gas tanks. We found all kinds of contamination that we had no idea existed. And so every time we turned a corner, it seemed like there was another challenge to overcome. But the wonderful thing about Caldwell is we had this dream of this pedestrian-friendly, walkable, business-friendly downtown, and we were not going to give up. So we kept working through all of these issues by calling on our partners, by calling on our federal partners and state partners and the Department of Commerce, Department of Labor, the governor's office, at the time, Secretary of the Interior, Kempthorne's office. We did anything we could do to keep this project going and make sure that we could overcome these obstacles. So what we had in mind next is to restore this great project. There are 1,550 feet of stream that has been restored, and you can see the beautiful natural banks with grass and trees. There's 6 acres of greenbelt along this this project in downtown, right in the center of downtown Caldwell. 2,700 feet of walking paths and trails, and of course some bridges that were built over the stream, so that we wanted to preserve some of our history, as I mentioned earlier. These bridges are made from the roof supports and wood taken out of the Idaho department store, which was it was one of the buildings that was demolished to create this path for this new creek. And so those bridges are built from roof spans and from lumber from inside Idaho department store, just to make sure that we had some piece of our history in the past. Next. So again, let the adventure begin, right, and continue. But this was 7 years of a dream that we are just so pleased with. And when we finally opened it up, and then of course, as things would have it, we opened it up in the summer of 2007. Well, we all know what happened in 2007 and early 2008. Probably one of the biggest economic downturns since the Great Depression. Some called it the Great Recession. We called it the recession that made us great, because we didn't stop. Even though it was discouraging and all the work that we had put into this, hoping to bring new businesses in downtown, we forged ahead, and we went ahead and replaced old sewer lines in downtown Caldwell. We continued replacing old sidewalks. We continued putting in power so that the new businesses, that when they would come, they would have the opportunity to develop these buildings and remodel these buildings and recreate a downtown that was friendly, and it worked. So when, the old saying is good luck happens when hard work and preparation meets opportunity. Well, all that hard work and preparation did work. And so when things did start to turn around, Caldwell became a destination point. And you can see some of the activities here. This cardboard kayak race that is so fun brings thousands of people to downtown. Go ahead to the next slide. We have natural fountains inside the creek that are fountains that using the water. And some of the features that we placed, artwork. The walking paths along this creek has now become the place for running events and walking events. And we have the Indian Creek Festival, and we have all these trees and everything along the creek. You see, we made sure that we provided electricity for all of these things because we wanted to create something unique and different. And so if you go to the next slide, that's Christmas time in downtown Caldwell. We have 1 million lights in downtown Caldwell, and we get thousands and thousands and thousands of people coming to Caldwell now. You see that bridge right there has a pedestrian counter on it. Last year, we measured, we tracked over 400,000 crossings of that bridge. That is amazing in a city of the size of Caldwell. People are coming here from all around the valley, all around the region. We see license plates from other states. We see license plates from all the counties around us. This has become a destination point, and especially during the holidays. So if you can go to the next slide. Then once we were able to get the creek going, then again with our hope of creating this vibrant downtown, pedestrian-friendly, walkable downtown, well, we had the opportunity to buy the old King's department store, and that was part of our goal. If you looked back at the original thematic plan that we had for downtown, we wanted a plaza. So it's a place for, again, a gathering place, the heartbeat of the community. So we rolled up our sleeves and went to work. And go to the next slide. That's what we now have in downtown Caldwell. We have one of 6 ice ribbons in the entire nation. We have this beautiful, approximately 1.5 acre site downtown where people can ice skate and see Christmas and hear Christmas music and listen to music and farmers markets and all the things that bring people to a downtown. And since we've created this creek and plaza, and since the plaza has opened, there are 30 new businesses that have settled in downtown Caldwell, helping us create that walkable, pedestrian-friendly environment where businesses can thrive. Restaurants. We have a sushi restaurant in downtown Caldwell. Who would have thought that could ever have happened in downtown Caldwell? Flying in. We have the chop shop. We have all these wonderful businesses, the Good Spoon. We have a pizza place. We have just wonderful opportunity downtown for people to come, walk, and spend the day. You know, you don't want somebody to come downtown and pull up in front of the jewelry store and go buy something and get back in their car and leave. What we wanted was to have people come and spend the day, the evening, the afternoon in our downtown. And all of this planning together, making sure it all connected with paths and that these buildings were built energy efficiently. And we were using the old traditional facades on these buildings and helping them through urban renewal, remodel these buildings and maintain the integrity and the history of Caldwell, celebrating a community that now gets together and hangs out, and you can eat and go to a movie and buy a wedding ring and buy a dress and whatever you want in downtown Caldwell. And that didn't happen before. So this is part of our dream and our goal, and it's becoming a reality. Next. You can see that these are just an example of the many events we have. This is the plaza during the daytime and not at Christmas time, but we have the Indian Creek Festival. We have Cinco de Mayo. We have wine tasting. We have all these wonderful dinners downtown, the farm to fork market celebrating the agricultural history for the city of Caldwell and also the surrounding area. Agriculture is what made Caldwell the wonderful place that it is, and so we wanted to celebrate that. So all these events are happening in downtown Caldwell, bringing literally hundreds of thousands of people to downtown Caldwell every year, and it's amazing to watch the sidewalks and the walking paths and the creek, the plaza. All these areas are full of people. You know, you go back a few years and we did not have a parking problem. You could have gone downtown and sighted in your hunting rifle in the middle of Main Street and not had, you know, worried about hitting anyone because there was nobody in downtown. Now we have a parking problem. That is a wonderful problem to have. And so again, it's just awesome to see this wonderful change in the city of Caldwell. Next. These are some of the new businesses. Again, you see She Sushi and Spirits, the Chop Shop, the Good Spoon, Ruby Bloom Floral, Rediscover Books. We have all these wonderful businesses downtown. The theater, an 11-screen theater in downtown Caldwell that did not exist just a few years ago. Next. Now, along with that, we obviously need jobs. Caldwell was suffering for a dearth of good jobs that were market rate jobs. And so again, with the help of all of our partners, but especially the Urban Renewal Agency, we started investing in ourselves. And we also put together a dream. We had a written vision statement for this area that we put together in the early 2000s. And it talked about, again, a walkable business park where there were jobs and livability and workforce housing and park opportunities and all this mixed juice together in an area where people could live, work, play, walk, literally live in an apartment, walk to the park, walk to their job, and then also have the retail opportunities that they need to have within just walking distance, which again, you know that these are all very important principles for quality of life. And I know that sometimes that term gets overused, but that's what our goal was. We wanted to create an area where there were jobs, but not forget the other pieces and just create a business park by itself. So we decided to put together a plan for through urban renewal, and we put in water, sewer, power. We built streets. We widened a state highway with local dollars. That just doesn't happen. And we put in stoplights and to make access to the freeway for the businesses that would come. And we created Sky Ranch Business Park with our business partners, with some partners out there that, you know, Jamie Hoover and some of his folks that worked with him. These were visionaries that understood what we were trying to accomplish. And together, we put together Sky Ranch Business Park. Next. Some of the things that we wanted to make sure is that we worked with the state, with the Department of Commerce and others to make sure that we brought quality, good businesses to the state of Idaho. One of the first businesses that decided to come to Caldwell was Price Pump, and they moved here from California, brought with them about 50 jobs. And this is a privately owned but nationally recognized business that decided to choose Caldwell. And you can see the groundbreaking there with Governor Otter at the time and Bob Piazza. This was a huge thing for the city of Caldwell. We did not have these businesses. We did not have good, high-paying jobs in our city. So this was very important to us. Next. Sky Ranch, the next business that, a huge business that came and started things really rolling for us was Fresca Foods. And of course, they are one of the largest tortilla manufacturers in not only the United States, but in the world. They built a 188,000 square foot building and started things rolling for us. What a great partner. Again, created about 200 jobs. Next. Capital Distributing, moved here from Ada County, purchased 56 acres of ground, a 230,000 square foot job, employment of another 200 jobs. Next. American Food Equipment Company, again, providing equipment so desperately needed by the other businesses within Sky Ranch Business Park. Next. So here you can see the result of what was before and what is happening now. And so within the business park, we have about 100 acres of park space out there. We have softball fields. We have a skate park. We have a BMX park that brings activities right in the middle of this industrial park. So people can leave their business, walk across the street, enjoy these beautiful park amenities, have their lunch outside during the summertime, and go right back to work. And then also, right across from these photos that you're seeing, we developed about 100 affordable housing apartments, again, workforce housing, right in the middle of the industrial park. So people can walk out their door, go to the park, go to their job. And then what's even more amazing is we partnered with Thomas Jefferson Charter School. So there's a charter school right in the middle of this industrial park. So you can go to school. There's a park for the kids to play in. Again, charter school needed a lot of outdoor space. We partnered with them. They can use this wonderful park amenity for their students. The BMX folks bring in, we had the national BMX race in Caldwell, Idaho last year, bringing thousands of people from across the nation to Caldwell, Idaho. And again, this is all within the context of an industrial park. This was a dream that we wanted to create, and that's why Elaine asked me to talk about it, because within this park, you can live, work, recreate, play. And then, of course, the new North Ranch Business Center is the home of a new 100,000 square foot D&B retail store. There are grocery stores that are planned in this area. We have other retail opportunity that will take place. And again, this is right across the street from this North Ranch Business Center. So all in all, what we have is a beautiful business park, jobs. We have well over 1.5 million square feet of new industrial space out there in North Ranch and Sky Ranch Business Park, and it just continues to grow. And because it was built on smart growth principles. And so again, I just wanted to conclude with that. This is our goal. This has been our dream, to make Caldwell a pedestrian-friendly, family-friendly, walkable, business-friendly, that would invite people to come to the city of Caldwell and spend their dollars here, invest in the city of Caldwell with us. And so this is the North Ranch Business Center that is just underway. We just broke ground. It is, again, brand new buildings going up there as we speak to add to this already robust area where we've already created the Sky Ranch Business Park. So in conclusion, we believe in smart growth principles. It is something that has changed Caldwell, I believe, for the better forever. And we are so grateful to have been recognized today for the work that the city has done. I just want to make sure that everyone understands this doesn't happen in a vacuum. It takes partners. It takes long, hard work by so many people. An army of people literally worked on all of this to make it happen. The City Council, the Urban Renewal Agency, the Chamber of Commerce, Destination Caldwell, our state partners, our county partners. None of this happens without partnership, and we're so grateful to everyone that helped us reach this point. So with that, that's, I'll stand for questions. And again, thank you so much for this great honor. And I hope that our presentation had some value for all of you that were on this Zoom call today.
With that, Michelle, I'm trying to get back to the.
So thank you, Mayor. That was really inspiring. It's incredible. So it's really incredible to see all in 20 minutes too. Really amazing work. Congratulations.
Thank you so very much. Thank you.
20 minutes part is the most amazing part, but that's
I know my head was, and I know that's just part of the story. So it's really amazing the work you've done.
Thank you.
And I really appreciated the story too, Mr. Mayor. My name's Anna Marie. I work with Idaho Smart Growth. And you don't have to tell me how great the ice skating ribbon is, because that's where my daughter has her birthday every year for the last 3 years. We have it at the ice skating ribbon. And before my working with Idaho Smart Growth, I did not know that the creek was originally underground. So I really appreciate being able to hear the whole entire story. So now I can share your story with the other communities that I'll be working with.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you.
Well, Michelle, if I could say just a word,
Absolutely.
I just want to recognize how amazing Garrett has been. True to form, he's very modest. He gave a lot of credit to everyone else. And certainly it does take partners. You and I both know that, Garrett, but this story wouldn't have happened with you at the helm. And you left out the part that the car wash fell into the creek, which created just a little bit of momentum to uncover the creek. One of those happy accidents that I think ended up being one of the catalysts to helping people believe that it could be real.
Thank you, Elaine. And you're right. You saw the picture of it, but I guess I didn't explain it very well. But thank you for reminding me. And thank you for your kind remarks, Elaine. I so much enjoy working with you. You know what I feel about you. You're amazing.
Thank you.
I had a question. My name is Lex, and I'm an intern with Idaho Smart Growth. Thank you so much for joining us today. With that, for one of my classes called City and Nature, I used Indian Creek restoration as an example of designing with nature. And I was curious if you had any other projects in the area that you're working with that's kind of similar that you're excited about, or if there's a place in which you're curious about and what that kind of looks like.
Well, thank you, Lex. And yes, the creek runs through the entire section of Caldwell. We purposely built our police station in downtown next to the creek because we wanted to start that momentum many, many years ago. We have continued projects. As you know, the original creek was basically from Kimball to 5th Street. We've now expanded that clear across 10th Street. We've added another section of that same beautiful creek that you saw earlier. And then what we're doing is we're building a 10-foot wide multimodal path that goes from 11th Street all the way down to 21st and connects into the College of Idaho. Obviously, that great, beautiful school in our city, and we want those students to have easy access, foot access, again, to downtown Caldwell. And then also when we designed 10th Street Bridge, the new bridge that we built to replace all those old trusses and railroad ties that actually built the original 10th Street Bridge was built on, we made sure that we included a underpass. 10th Street is a very, very busy arterial, about 18 to 20,000 vehicle trips per day. And we certainly didn't want to have people cross 10th Street from the college side to get into downtown and risk any kind of accident. So again, part of that planning process and tying it all together, we made sure that when ITD replaced that bridge and we worked together, that there was a pedestrian underpass that connects 11th Street side with downtown. And then of course, this new 10-foot wide path a multimodal path that goes to the event center. So we have this, the county fairgrounds, the Caldwell Night Rodeo, we have the 4-H grounds, and this new 10-foot path connects those areas as well. So you will be able to very soon walk from the College of Idaho down a 10-foot wide path underneath 10th Street, and you come up right on Indian Creek, the movie theater, the Plaza is 1 block away. So these are all principles, again, about getting people to walk, bike, rollerblade, whatever is the mode of transportation. And so we're continuing this concept clear through Caldwell down to the rodeo fairgrounds. We're building a new RV parking lot with walking paths the same as this along Indian Creek at 21st. And so this concept, we hope to continue throughout the entire length of Indian Creek at some point in time in the future. So that's our goal.
Congratulations, Garrett. Nancy here. I so enjoyed the opportunities we had to work together over the course of my tenure as mayor of Moscow. And I had the privilege in the fall of 2008 of having Denny Cannon give me who was then development coordinator, redevelopment coordinator there, give me a private tour of the Indian Creek project. And I was just wowed, not only by what had already been accomplished by that time, but by the energy behind the vision. And I know so much of that was attributed to you, and rightly so. Caldwell couldn't have a more vocal proponent than you, a cheerful and energetic and can-do spirit. I printed off some of the notes that I had taken following that tour in the early days, and I remember them saying, yeah, putting those electrical boxes in every 50 feet doubled the cost of that part of the project, but it was the mayor's idea, and well, guess what? It is been proven to be forward-thinking and advantageous every step of the way. The little fountain that you showed in the middle of the creek, I noted that was part of a University of Idaho design charrette. Yes. And we took that concept of Indian Creek redevelopment as motivation for Moscow's daylighting projects too, and working closely with the University of Idaho and its students. So you have inspired so many other communities around the state, and to see the ongoing momentum of that project is just extraordinary. So heartiest congratulations to you, and good to see you again.
Good to see you, Nancy, and thank you very, very much. Thank you.
Michelle, should we roll over?
Sure, if there aren't any other questions, just in closing this evening, first of all, I really appreciate everyone attending, and I really appreciate our award winners. We would like you to consider joining. We have something called our Next 20 Champions membership. And what we're doing is we're supporting our Next 20 Smart Growth Summit that will be held in 2022. And this is really going to focus on important growth issues in Idaho. If you join the Next 20, you're also supporting some of our existing programs. As you all know, we're a nonprofit, and we're looking ahead to the Next 20 to figure out how we can support more communities to grow more sustainably, more healthy, and more vibrant. So please consider, if you're not already a member, joining. And with that, I just want to again thank everybody for attending this evening. We're really hoping we can do this in person next year. And we would like to hold celebrations in Caldwell at Indian Creek, as well as at the second South Market in Twin Falls. So with that, thank you so much.
And I would
thank you.
Ask everyone who's not on to undo your video camera so we can just all kind of wave. We're a small group, unfortunately, but some folks who had RSVP'd apparently can attend. But good to see all of you, and thanks everyone for coming.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone, and congratulations again, Lisa.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.